is Teacher Grandma, a teacher for 34 years and a grandmother of two pretty little girls. Today when I took my opened my Facebook page, I read one thing. I stopped explaining myself when I realized other people only understand from their level of perception. People decide to understand from their level of what their understanding is at that given time in their life. We may want them to understand our perspective. We may want them to understand a different way, but people understand only where they are in their life. Their perception of things depends on their experience of life. And so sometimes you have a thought process which is on a different level, and people are thinking from another level. My question to you is, if a person doesn't understand what you're trying to say, should you argue till you make your point? I think not. I think that when you realize that a person cannot understand what you're trying to say, both of you are speaking two different languages. So if I'm speaking French and you're speaking English, no one's understanding anything. And I feel very often we want to make our point. We want to have our say. We want people to do what we want them to do. But people won't do what you want them to do. People will do what they want to do. I mean, think about it. When you were young and your parent wanted you to do something which you didn't want to do, whether you did it or not was solely dependent on what you decided. And so once you understand this, you won't get into futile arguments with people. You will leave them be because they are not at the level at which you are. I had once responded to a post that was put up, and I responded to the post not because of anything but because I knew the person who had put up the post. And when I responded and my response was not in keeping with the thought process of that person, there were a couple of other people that jumped on the bandwagon and reacted and threatened and challenged. Now, according to me, I was very clear. I'm talking to you, and I don't know you, I don't know you. I'm not interested in having a conversation with you. And my reason for responding on the post was to give the other person, because I knew the other person was an intelligent person, to give that person my perspective, a different perspective on the situation that he was talking about. And so very often on Facebook we find this. There is a post which is put out and people react. Others jumped on the bandwagon and they decide to react. I have only one thing to tell you. You decide whether you want to react or whether you want to be proactively smart. Think about it whenever you're writing a comment on somebody's post. Am I being reactive or am I being proactive? Reactive, when there is a loud sound, the reaction, it's instinctive. Proactive is I decide how I am going to act in the situation. This is Teacher Grandma giving you a little more gyan. Bye-bye.